will record.
Finally, another podcast about
Godzilla!
and all his giant monster friends.
This could be the end of civilization.
Yeah, probably. So join your hosts, Chris Chikini and Chris Casares.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You're listening to the podcast. From Odo Island. Welcome to the podcast from Odo Island. You can find us on Twitter at Odo Island Pod. Remember this week? I am KES, and with me as always is the Spoony Bard himself, Slickness.
Good ref. Good
Yeah.
ref. Good ref.
Saw it twice in the past week. I forgot an augment and had to restart the game.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yes.
All because I wanted to make Kane cry.
Yes. There's a lot of Final Fantasy IV references to start that off. Little piece of Slick trivia. If any of you are making a fandom wikia for us, that is my favorite video game of all time. Final Fantasy IV. You can put that in the trivia section.
I mean, I'd probably have to go Legend of Zelda 2. Link's Adventure of Link.
Two very good games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we referenced,
Yeah.
Did ourselves a little bit.
Yep.
Oh,
We're
good
old.
intro.
Good stuff. Anyways, this is a Godzilla podcast.
Although this week it's a Gamera. It's another Gamera movie.
Yeah, but before we get into that, we have some Godzilla stuff.
Oh, that's right.
I hear that there's a mobile game that you've been playing.
Well, I
Godzilla Steinerline.
Well, I think on our Twitter, I gave little capsule reviews of all the Godzilla mobile games came out in the last episode. I basically verbalized my tweets and said, Godzilla Battle Line. It's probably the crown jewel of these mediocre mobile games. But I'm going to say 2 weeks later, I find myself going back to it and playing it more and actually liking it a little bit
all right.
more.
There you
And
go.
now they're doing a so you're not familiar with playing like mobile gacha games or anything like that, right?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm old.
So essentially it's kind of like the basic concept is basically like, as you play through the game, or in this case you play against other players in real time, which is nice. It's good PvP competition. But the more you play, the more you win, the more in-game currency you get to unlock essentially loot boxes. And so when the game first started, they were doing like a singular point event, which basically meant that like you got a chance to get like Godzilla Terrestris, which then evolves into Godzilla Ultima, and now they're doing the now that Godzilla vs. Kong, as of this recording, has released in Japan now. So now they're doing the Godzilla vs. Kong event in Godzilla Battle Line. So Kong is a character that you can unlock in the game. But it's I'm enjoying it. But I play other mobile gacha games. Well, mostly just Fire Emblem Heroes, which is like a very polished Nintendo, and through Intelligent Systems, but like it's a very polished product. This is not as polished as that.
Mhm.
And the joke with always like gacha games is like some units in the game or characters in the game break the meta and they just become like too overpowered. This has to be the fastest adjustment I've ever seen done to characters in the game in Godzilla Battle Line. It was like very quickly apparent that there's a limited amount of kaiju in the game right now.
Yeah.
And one of them or two of them that are of controversy are Anguirus 55 and a swarm of Kamakuras. And so I don't
Why
know.
is Anguirus controversial?
So I don't know if this was like just an error in the coding. So like there's different tier characters, right? There's like your 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and Anguirus is a 2-star character. But there's something that was like basically broken about Anguirus that and same thing with the Kamakuras too. When you level them up, their stats grow way more than other character stats grow.
Oh, okay.
So it's like their growth rates are broken. And so like what it turned into is basically how fast can you get your Anguirus to the field, deployed in the field, and if your Anguirus can get to essentially your opponent's like, boss character and like stay in there for like just do a little bit of damage, like you're gonna win. It's basically a race to who can get their Anguirus to the opponent first.
Okay.
And the Kamakuras are kind of like that too. And like they had a big like social media thing. They were just like, all right, we're gonna kind of nerf the two of them a little bit, like, and like they made like they increased the requirements for how long it takes to get the Kamakura swarm out, and like they didn't regress Anguirus like on his stats. Like if whatever his stats are, what you have him level to is like what he's still at, but like he just won't grow as crazy when you level him up. But I'm always kind of like, well, the genie's out of the bottle. Like like the Anguirus you have is still a tank. And so it's like, so it still needs to be balanced, and it's like you just kind of see everyone's teams basically consist of Godzilla Ultima from Singular Point, because that's like the other super overpowered character, the Kamakura Swarm, and Anguirus is like everybody has those three in their team because they're so easy to get. And so it's just so everybody has them. So it's not like, you're going to play the game and not have them.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. It's funny watching it play out. But I do like Kong is very good in the game. I have not been able to acquire Kong yet, but I think I'll put some time in and try to do it. So there you go. There's your mobile gaming update for the week.
See, we got some Godzilla stuff in.
Yeah.
And plus all the times I'm going to be calling Gamera Godzilla during the episode.
Yeah, it's the new drinking game.
It'll still be a Godzilla episode.
The new drinking game to lead up to our later in the summer drinking game. Yeah. So, Gamera
3.
Revenge of Iris.
Yeah.
We are wrapping up our Gamera 90s trilogy.
We're all wrapped up now.
Yep.
We could do a 2-hour episode of like the teaser trailer though, right?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
for the movie that was never made.
Which movie was that?
Remember the teaser trailer that came out like 10 years ago?
Oh, you mean a few years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What was that? Maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago?
Yeah, it was around the time Shin Godzilla was coming out.
Okay.
And the Shin Ultraman trailer came out. Which there was like some debate if like the Gamera trailer was for an actual movie or if it was just like not demo reel, but whatever. We're getting sidetracked. Anyway,
full episode is coming out on that.
Yes, 2 hours.
2035.
So yes,
the last Bobby Bonilla day.
So yes, Gamera 3: Revenge of Iris, a 1999 classic. Some say the greatest kaiju movie of all time. Many say definitely the best Gamera movie of all time. Made by your boy Kaneko, who will go on to make GMK.
Yep.
After this, your
I
favorite movie.
I can see where that style translates into Godzilla.
Sure.
Yeah.
And this is exciting because that is your favorite Godzilla movie, and hence what I've kept saying as we watch the Gamera trilogy that like this is your boy at work.
Yeah.
And this was your first time seeing this movie.
Yes, I've heard about it though, and everyone always raved about it, and I was always kind of skeptical, mostly because like I don't know, I don't trust people. Not you personally. I'm just saying, like in general.
Yeah.
Your opinions won't sway me. So yeah, my first time watching it though, but I've always heard good things about it, and I was not let down. Yeah,
so I was gonna say, like, before we go through the movie, I guess, what's your not rating, but knee jerk reaction?
Easily the best Gamera movie ever made.
Yeah,
and I've seen most of those. I don't know if I've seen all of them or not, but through the magic of Mystery Science Theater 3000, I've seen most of them.
Yeah,
but not this one, obviously, because they never got a chance to do this. But I mean, I really don't think they'd fit in. This is too good for them. They shouldn't waste their time with this.
Oh no, I think this was like an award-winning movie in Japan. Yeah.
But I can't say enough good things about it. The one thing I will say is that the characters, the story, supersede like any of the action that actually happens. The action is like you could put that on the back burner and it's fine for this movie.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like the one time that I've seen this done that I'm like, oh, this is how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have not the focus be on the characters and not the action, make the characters really good.
Yes. So I guess I guess to give my background, I guess, with this, and then as we'll kind of like walk through the movie, is that so when this came out, Yeah, like I mean, this was like instantly heralded as like this is if it's not the greatest kaiju movie of all time, it's one of the.
I won't go
the
there.
Greatest.
I won't go there.
I still agree with that, but I did not like it when it first came out in 1999 because and you kind of guessed it like in our chat.
As soon
like,
as
offline.
I saw it happen, I was like, "That's what you did."
You said collateral damage, but it was more that so Gamera is like
great Arnold movie. Though.
He's he's disconnected from humanity in this, so hence he doesn't like give a shit about the collateral damage in his battle with the Gauss in Shinjuku and as like the rest of the movie goes, but.
He's more of a force of nature in this one, more Godzilla.
Yeah, and I thought that was like stripping away what was like a really good, like I liked Gamera being like essentially the John Cena of like 90s kaiju movies. Like I liked him being like a clearly defined.
This is NWO John Cena Gamera.
Yeah, it's like he went from like babyface John Cena to like now he's kind of like. He kind of goes tweener, and he's like the look is like he's kind of got like almost like a little mohawk look now going on. I also realized I was wrong when I said in Gamera 2 that those flippers don't return. They are back. They're back in this, and I just forgot about them. So correction. Yeah. So it's like I guess we can like kind of this like kind of segues into like walking through the movie. Like early on in the movie, like Gamera is chasing down some Gauss, and they go to Shinjuku, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts about it. Like after I kind of set it up, and it's like
when he shoots down the Gauss, and it lands in like that hotel area, that big building, and its eyes are like popping out of its head.
Oh god, yeah!
It's like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah,
and Gamera lands, does not give a crap about anyone on the ground, and just blows them all away.
Yeah, and they say like approximately 20,000 people die in that battle scene, but like it's like really like they like really drive the point. I'm like, hey, here's some people like struggling to get out of some rubble. Up, Gamera just stomped on it.
Yeah.
Here's like some people like watching the fight from afar. Gamera fires a whole bunch of fireballs that missed and blows everybody up.
Yep.
And it's like I think like I would go. Oh, that'd be awesome if like Gamera was not established as like a baby face. Again, this would be like to me when I first like saw it, it was like it would be like if I was like a little kid watching The Ultimate Warrior run down to like the ring, and instead of getting the ring and like squash Honky Tonk Man, he like pulls like a random kid out of the crowd and just starts like smashing him in the face.
Oh, that's so awesome.
now goes, oh my god, that's awesome. But if I was like like a little kid, I'd be like, oh my god, that's fucking terrible. And obviously when I say it's awesome, I mean the kid is probably getting paid by the WWE and is a plant. I don't mean that he's gonna just
it's probably one of the referee's sons.
Yeah.
who became tag team champion.
Whose last name is Morella. But so like so it's like so
would you be serious?
It's like it was just like too jarring of a character shift about Gamera, like to me. And this is like I'll kind of stop ranting at this. Like Godzilla and Gamera like is like like the movies can be whatever like around them, like the kaiju movies can be bad, but like the thing that got me into Godzilla and Gamera is mostly Godzilla is like Godzilla is a character that like I buy into that personality and that character, even it's like evolved in like the different eras, and I felt like it was like the Gamera I had bought into in the 90s was a little kind of pulled away, and that was the problem I had when it first came out.
Yeah,
and that's what I always struggled with. Now it bothered me less because I could like a little bit more get away from that mindset.
This movie is so much darker in tone though from every other Gamera movie that like I really don't mind that Gamera has like like some shades of gray to his character this time. It makes sense that like he's disconnected from humanity. They find like the Gamera graveyard at the beginning,
right? And
then like obviously the stone has been broken.
Oh, the jewel that Asagi had, and I like how they tie that together as to why he's that was the connection. Now it's gone. Yeah,
exactly. But speaking of that, we can get into the. We talked about the babyface losing his white meat portion. He's more of the dark meat at this point. Shades of gray. But now we need to talk about the heel of the movie, which was named Iris after the girl's cat.
Yeah.
Who
is she really? You said it earlier offline. Is she really the heel?
I don't think. Well, she's the heel in this movie, but
I tell you, if something happened to my cats,
So, but like you understand her motivations. They're not like she's not trying to destroy the world. She's trying to destroy the thing that ruined her life, basically.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not that she's like evil just for the sake of being evil. She's evil with a purpose, and like it's not really evil per se. It's more just like I need revenge.
Yeah.
And so that leads her to this sanctuary, this cave, where Iris is dwelling in its egg, or its cocoon thing.
Yeah, egg, yeah.
Whatever it was. And like this family in this village is trying to protect it.
Right.
Like, because it's supposed to be like pure evil and it's supposed to destroy the world, basically. And so she like helps it come unhatched or whatever. I'm kind of foggy on what exactly happened there.
So there's like a lot of implied history in this like backstory that's kind of not so much like none of the backstory to Gamera's creations like really touched on in Gamera 2, really. But like the idea in this trilogy is that like the Gauss are an eternal threat.
Yeah.
And I do like too that like they always play like an off-screen constant threat in this movie too.
They are like a MacGuffin red herring though.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're basically just attacking like the entire world in this movie.
Yeah.
And there is like, and so Gamera is actually a creation by like an old like the lost continent of Atlantis like civilization, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and Gauss was like the primary threat, but it sounds like Iris was like, or Iris's race is perhaps like the secondary threat to the Earth, and like Gamera is like, because that's like that's why like Ayana says like Gamera killed his family too.
Yeah,
and it's like they are like bound by like that hatred.
Yes,
but there's also like a really weird like I don't know. I don't know. I guess maybe I'll ask you if you got these vibes, like if it felt like weird. Like I don't want to, like I feel like sexual is like the wrong thing to say, but it's like there's some very odd like this is a movie filled with a lot of like symbolic stuff going on, and there's like some like scenes between Ayana and Iris, like particularly in the woods, and it's like they do like a weird embrace thing that I have like heard people like interpret as like it's a very like intimate type thing, and I don't know if I got that as I think maybe there's more as part of it there.
I view them more as like kindred spirits.
Yeah, like
both of their motivations are the same. Like they're both like basically orphaned by this Gamera race, and so they want revenge. So basically, I viewed it as like when Iris was like being like nursed by this girl,
right,
and like fed by him and stuff. So like Iris viewed the girl as its basic parent, and when she got into the girl's nervous system, like probably like understood like her revenge.
Yeah,
and was like, okay, this is our purpose then. Like, yeah,
I've heard like there are some. I
don't know if I get any sexual vibes at all.
Like I've heard like some interpretations that kind of take it that way is like a more like intimate thing, and I think I can see like the way that it's like written in the way like that scene in the forest plays out. I guess I could see that, but I took it more as like this is like I took it more as like yes, like she nurses Iris, but Iris now is like the parasite that's like fueling itself like off of like her hatred and anger, and like But I think that's like one of the things that kind of works with this movie is that like it has like a lot of deep layers to it, and like it's this is going to be like a recurring beat. Like like the characters in this movie are so well done and so well written.
Probably the best character cast in any monster movie I've seen.
That was
I was going to say Godzilla.
That was almost your first.
I'll take a shot. We need Kong. The world needs him.
And I guess like kind of like where to go from there. So I guess like as like this point in the movie too, like a lot of like the Gamera Guardian of the Universe cast like returns.
Yeah.
Like Miyumi and Asagi. Dreamcast makes a cameo.
Dreamcast is in there. I noticed that.
I was pumped about that. It was good to see the Dreamcast getting its product placement.
Also, they put in non-Dreamcast games into the Dreamcast. So
wasn't it just a burnt disc?
Yeah. So
because
it's like,
the first version of the Dreamcast, the one that I have, can play burnt discs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like people probably found out that you could do that with these in this movie.
Yeah, and they burnt a game of like simulating like a whole bunch of fucking random futures with I don't know, I forget what it was, like something about like the Gauss existing, like and what sort of environment brings the Gauss about. But yeah, and also the Inspector character returns from he's in both movies. He's the guy that's like the security guard at the beer.
Yep.
The brewery, Kieran Brewery, and he's also in the first movie too. He comes back and he's like kind of gets a little redeemed role. Reminds me of the Shin Godzilla guy who has the towel around his neck the entire time, like this guy does. So
okay.
So remember, like he spends most of this movie like the wet towel around his neck, and there's the guy, the doctor, and not the doctor, the scientist in Shin Godzilla, who always has the towel around his neck. I was like, oh man, that's a little homage. I don't know.
Maybe it's the same guy. Shin Godzilla is a sequel to this movie.
So I mean, I guess so much of this is going to be about like a lot of the human characters. Like, did you think Ayana was the best human character in the movie?
I thought her story was the best.
Yeah.
Like basically everyone else's motivations was to like stop whatever was happening any way they could, where her motivation was strictly to cause it. So, she was sort of an island to herself, but like nobody like really hates each other. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like the boy likes her, even though he's supposed to be like stopping Iris from existing. Like he still lets her because the girl. So everyone kind of likes each other, but like their motivations are completely at odds. So it creates some drama.
Yeah. I guess like one little piece of trivia to touch on with like Ayana's backstory is that like when she has that flashback of Gamera crashing through the apartment complex that kills her family, they made like a whole suit for that, and it's known as Nightmare Gamera.
That's awesome.
It's like that's like what it's unofficially known as. And I think they actually I think some official merch has been released on that suit as Nightmare Gamera. Where like in the movie you don't get the full body, but in the figures you get the full body. But it's like basically Gamera with like a lot of like frayed edges and like kind of pointy horns that he didn't like really have. But it's like again like her nightmare, yeah. So there's two other characters that we're both really bad at names, so we're gonna forget their names. But there's the two creepy characters in this movie.
I have the cast on my my phone. Yeah, one of them was Shinya Kurata.
Is that the one that is introduced as it's the Prime Minister's fortune teller, and like she's like the very sinister one with her very sinister creepy partner?
Well, no, this is the guy who he's like, oh,
yeah,
this is very scary.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, like I don't know what his role was actually supposed to be in
just
anything.
To creep you out.
Yeah, he's apparently somebody who has a high ranking role in the Japanese government. Or
just a total creep,
and hangs around with this woman who is very fixated on getting Ayana, and it seems like it's for the purposes of the government. But as like the movie plays out towards the end, like it seems like she wants to harness the jewel that Ayana has that gives her connection to Iris to use the powers for herself.
Yeah,
and it's like I kind of like try to look back on like what did like they really like. I don't know, particularly the creepy guy. Like I was like, what did he have to do with this movie other than just to kind of like stand around, wear a weird jacket, and say like weird creepy shit? But you know what? It worked. Worked for me.
The other character's name was, let's see, it was. I keep on clicking because her name gets cut off, but give me a second. I have to go back. It's Mayumi Naga and then ...
Yeah, Mayumi returns from Guardian of the Universe, and she's kind of like the she was with like Asagi like through the first movie and this movie, and like Asagi's like more here to kind of like try to talk, like she's trying to be like the kindred spirits, like Ayana, like kind of be like, listen, I've been in this kind of spot we are in where it's like you're connected to something, but like this isn't the way to go. But also she still is like constantly beating the drum of like Gamera's not really evil, we're just like kind of missing the missing the point of the greater good that he's trying to achieve here.
Yeah. Well said. I'm trying to find the other characters. We didn't talk about Ayana's family.
Oh yeah.
How her stepmother just basically hates her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like imagine like having to like adopt a kid and just like hating them. Like the kids like lost their whole family except for their little brother. And it's like, I'm gonna treat you like garbage.
Yeah, like isn't there like 1.2 where it's like they say like, when are you gonna drop your old last name and adopt like our family name?
Yeah, that's wrong.
It's
an old village. We got people here. It's just like, who cares? They should know that you're taking these siblings in. That makes you a good person.
Ayana might like really be like one of like the best written and best motivated characters. Like, I mean, maybe I'm not going to say like in all of these movies histories, but like I almost kind of feel like off the top of my head, like I can't think of like a better developed or motivated character, at least from the 90s to present. Right? Like, yeah.
So like you feel for motivations and you kind of empathize with her because you're like, she's been mistreated this whole time and now she's just lashing out. So like you understand her, or you understand why she's doing it. Like you might not agree with it, but
I don't know. Again, I tell you, something hurt one of my three cats. I will unlock an evil creature and raise it to take vengeance on that thing that hurt my cats. I will do that.
But maybe that's a good segue into talking about the monsters themselves. This time we'll start with Iris.
Yes.
Probably the most unique looking monster.
Yeah. I don't know if Iris has eyes, mouth, or legs in its final form.
It's very odd looking. It's like robot falcony in a way, with like tentacles that have like weird webbing in between them.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty awesome.
Iris's first form, like when it's like first kind of hatches, like is basically like the deformed baby from Eraserhead. Yeah. And then like but like cute. But like if that creature was cute.
It's like Eraserhead and Yoshi from the Mario Brothers movie.
and then yeah, like yeah, it almost like seems like the final form, almost like I remember like when I first saw pictures of Iris before actually seeing the movie, I was like thinking, is it like a weird like half mechanical thing? Because like it's got like silver metallic-y looking skin, but it's not. And I had to look up like figures that have been released of Iris to confirm that it does in fact have legs.
Yeah,
it does.
You never really see them because they're like always obscured by something.
Yeah,
like when Iris is walking in the forest, like you never see the legs, but you see the whole upper body sticking up above the trees. And then in the city, it's always obscured by the buildings.
The buildings,
and stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, you never see their feet. Must have been real disappointing for you.
For Quentin Tarantino, for like. Get the fuck out of here. But like Iris is like, it's like it like basically lives in the forest, and anything that comes after it, anything around it, it just like absorbs and like drains the life out of. And again, we got one jump scare when like a zombie corpse like drops out of like the ceiling.
Oh yeah,
and then there's like the other girl.
That's the stepmother.
Yeah, yes.
So Iris basically kills her whole abusive family.
Yes, which then most of the village.
Yeah.
Too, yeah. And then later in the movie, Ayana like sees it replay like through her eyes. We'll get to the ending in a minute, but then there's like some like because one thing I want to touch on, like as like actually like Iris kind of flies away to kind of head towards like confronting Gamera. Like it's 1999. This is a movie with not a lot of budget, but I thought those like scenes like Iris is like flying above the clouds were awesome. I thought those looked great. Like with the jets are like kind of flying after
Iris.
There's
like a brief scuffle with Gamera.
in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that too, like how Gamera just like kind of popped out of the cloud and is like in front, and they start fighting in the sky.
It's very dated, but it looked better than the last movie looked.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was a difference of 3 years.
Yeah.
96 to 99. So yeah. But then yeah, we get that final fight, which is entirely localized in a giant train station in Kyoto.
Yes.
Big enough train station to have a giant monster fight.
And what a monster fight.
Well, I actually thought it was pretty good.
Gamera gets stabbed a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And he loses a hand. He becomes Rick
He
Grimes.
blows off his own hand. It goes on for like a long time.
Yeah.
Too. Which because I like when I was watching this, I almost was kind of thinking, I was like, there's not a lot of Gamera and Iris like fight, and I just like hadn't watched this movie in a long time, and I was like, and I thought I had kind of had like a memory of like the final fight only being like 5 minutes long, and I was fucking wrong.
No.
It's like 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, the finale is pretty long, but I mean, there's a lot of cutting away to like the characters too, because like Ayana's like, kill him.
Oh yeah. She gets absorbed into Iris at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I guess as a fight as a whole, what did you think of, including I guess like the cutting away, because I feel like that's kind of part of the fight as well.
Yeah, this is like I said, this is one of those movies where the story is more important than the action. The action's kind of taking a back seat, but what happens is cool. There's just not a lot of it.
Yeah, he gets stabbed a shit ton, like you said.
Yeah, and he loses his hand.
Yeah.
But then like he absorbs like a fireball and his hand becomes fire, and he just like boom.
Right.
It's like when Little Mac gets the
Star Punch.
The Star Punch. Yeah.
Remember like how I said like last movie, I was like, oh yeah, we're really starting the trend of like Gamera develops convenient superpowers.
Yes.
For the movie. I feel like this is like the epitome of Gamera has developed a convenient superpower where he blasts off his own hand, captures a fireball, which he morphs into a fist, which I think there's actually an SH Monsterrats figure where you can pull out the arm and replace it with the firearm. I do know it exists. I don't know if it's SH Monsterrats or something else. And then then he plunges that into Iris to blow Iris up, but not before the creepy characters are
Done away
killed
with.
in a very comical way.
Yeah.
Which was the guy.
This is very scary.
Yes, I still don't know what purpose they served. I don't know why the good guy characters hung around with them for so much.
I don't know what he sounded like in Japanese, but the English dub that I watched was just hilarious.
How does it go in the English dub?
Because it's just it's just like how the character is portrayed. Like the voice is very creepy.
Can you impersonate it? I
just
haven't
did.
watched the English dub.
I just did.
Oh, how you said it?
Yeah.
Was how he says it?
Yeah.
Oh, because like the Japanese, so kawaii is like the word for scary. Kawaii is cute. Kawaii is scary. And he's like, oh, kawaii, eh? And he's like kind of like giggling almost like as it's happening. So I was like, what? I remember like when I watched it, I was like, we're both going to have a laugh about this in the podcast when that happens.
Also, plenty of time. He could have moved.
I don't think he wanted to.
Maybe death was the only adventure he had left.
Yeah, I think maybe if there is, well, I guess actually we can kind of touch on the trivia of sequels that never happened with this. But it's like I think if there ever was like a continuation to this series, maybe you could get him being some weird afterlife specter coming back and being creepy, because that seems like if I was writing a sequel to this, I would find a way to make him come back as a weird afterlife creepy specter.
Like Sergeant Hartman in Full Metal Jacket and The Frighteners.
Yes. Yes. I feel like I just like Scott the Wazd my yes to that. That's a highlight, the final fight. But then we get Ayana kind of essentially like reliving all of her trauma, but then also kind of conveniently being convinced that Gamera is still, that she shouldn't be mad at Gamera.
I feel like there was a part when she was connected to Iris that like she remembered that like Gamera was fighting Gauss and she saw Gauss in the nightmare too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that helped her just realize that it was not intentional on Gamera's part.
Yeah,
I think like I didn't actually have this thought before. It's like we just kind of started on this conversation. Maybe I'm looking at this through like a 2021 prism as opposed to like 1999. It's like there are a lot of people, mostly Asagi, and yeah, mostly Asagi, like telling Ayana that like basically like you shouldn't be angry with Gamera, like you shouldn't be upset with Gamera, and I kind of like, well, I mean,
they don't do it very well though.
You don't get to tell her how she feels.
Yeah,
and like Gamera did legitimately, like accidental or not, like did wipe out her parents and her pet. Like
they ruined her life.
And it's like kind of like how like people like now like look back at like the ending of The Breakfast Club. This is such a weird tangent, where it's like they look back at the end of The Breakfast Club and it's like, you know, they make the goth girl over and it's like a not goth girl. And it's like, well, what was the problem with her being a goth girl? You know, like, why are you telling Ayana that like she can't have this anger? Why can't she blame? Like, you shouldn't be telling her she's wrong for feeling that way. You know, maybe you should persuade her that revenge is not the answer in the grand scope of things. But you know,
I just feel like they could have done a better job at explaining Gamera to her. Like, they don't really say like Gamera didn't mean to do it, and like if he knew he did it, he'd be very sorry. Like,
right? It's always just he's fighting for us.
Yeah,
he's fighting for us.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't convinced by them either.
Yeah. But it's like, but she then kind of has like an abrupt, like, you know, Gamera saves her out of Iris, and then like she kind of has like an abrupt change. She's like, "Why did you save me?" And they're like, "Oh, well, Gamera fights for all of us."
Yeah, and that's when she kind of she came around, was that like Gamera did a good thing for her.
Yeah. And then, but like, it's not really. There's no wrap up to that, because although I think the ending is awesome, where it's like Gamera has, you know, he's been stabbed as many times as Paul Pierce, and has one hand, and is like they just go, oh my god, like a whole swarm of, not a queen ghost, but like a bunch of smaller ghosts are approaching, and it ends with like Gamera all messed up going like, well, I gotta fight like basically like 5,000 ghosts right now.
Yep.
And it just ends. And it was like, it's an awesome ending because Gamera probably dies.
Well, it reminds me of The Gray. You ever see that movie?
No.
It's with what's his face there, Qui-Gon Jinn. I can't remember
Liam
his name.
Neeson?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like basically like in a plane crash in the I think it's like the Canadian wilderness, and there's like a pack of wolves like hunting them down, all the survivors, and like killing them one by one. He's the last one, and like the pack surrounds him, and like the alpha wolf comes out to like fight him, and he like puts glasses in his hands. He's like ready to go.
Oh,
you don't
yeah.
You don't see the fight. It just ends like
yeah,
alluding to him
Yeah.
dying. I thought of that movie when that happened.
I think Kaneko did say in an interview that like if he like, you know, he says that Gamera would ultimately survive that fight if they continued the series, but I don't know if that's like just like an off the cuff comment. Like, I don't think this is Star Wars where it's like this whole separate canon tier that if George Lucas says something happened, like then it is canon to a certain level. I don't think he gets the George Lucas canon quote level, I should say. Do you know that's the thing in Star Wars?
Yes.
That it was for a while, yeah. It's fucking wild. He doesn't get that. But
George Lucas had brother and sister characters kiss.
He did.
So,
he did.
Yeah.
But he'll tell you. He knew all along that they were brother and sister.
Yeah, that's what makes it bad.
I don't think he actually knew they were going to be brother and sister, and I think he misspoke. I think he talked himself into a worse corner.
I know,
by saying that. It's so funny. That's so.
When you point it out, he goes, "Yeah, I meant to do that." You know, it's kind of like,
yeah. Maybe you should have said no. I really had no idea until Return of the Jedi.
We made the first one, thought it was going to be a one-off. Then we decided to make the next ones, and needed to do something with the characters.
Yep. But yeah, so there is no official sequel to this. There is a what has been like adopted, I think, in the Gamera fandom as the unofficial official sequel. That there was a fan-made film made, I think, in the 2001-ish, 2002-ish, and it's called Gamera. I forget what it's called. It's like Rebirth or something like that. But it was like a fan-made film, but they actually got the guy who plays the inspector character that's like in this movie and in all three movies to like reprise his role in that movie. And in that one, it's like Gamera basically dies fighting the Ghost. There's like a new Queen Ghost that's like an albino Gauss that emerges, and then a new Gamera emerges, and then they all kind of blow up at the end. But it's like, I guess it was like only seen like, shown twice, like in Japan. Like no footage of it like really exists to any great degree, and it's kind of more myth. Not myth, but it's like
the Polybius of movies.
I don't get that reference.
Oh. Never mind then. Maybe some dorks listening will get it.
Okay.
They'll think it's funny. Or not. Probably not.
But after this, there is Gamera the Brave, which neither of us have seen. I have not seen Gamera the Brave.
Really?
Yes. And I just know it starts with a scene that I feel like could have easily been written into continuing the story, but I think it takes place in a different, whatever. I don't know. I'd be mysterious about it. Like, Gamera the Brave starts with the quote-unquote original Gamera, like, dying in a battle with the Gus. And, but then a new Gamera is born, and that's the whole point of Gamera the Brave. But it's not connected to this series, and I feel like, without seeing it, I feel like it probably could have to be, like, the unofficial sequel. Because I would like the idea of, like, Gamera goes out and blaze a glory against the Gauss, and, new Gamera rises up.
It's like he's like a phoenix turtle.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of, yeah. He can have, like, instead of flappers, he can have phoenix wings.
So, I was gonna say his flippers become phoenix wings when he flies now, and he just slices through the Gauss.
Yeah, or maybe no, this is not gonna be very good, but I'll commit to it. So he dies in the battle with the Gauss, and then Asagi uses a phoenix down on him, but that wasn't good. I really shouldn't have committed to that, but I did. So
okay. I mean, it happens. But yeah, that's pretty much Gamera 3, Revenge of Iris, summed up for you. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. So the way we rank things is if they were pro wrestling matches, or pro wrestlers, I'm sorry. 1 star makes you a jobber, all the way up to 5 star being a main eventer. You are Kenny Omega if you're a 5 star. So the other 2 Gamera movies have both been 4 stars for me.
Yep.
And this is the one that I kind of came into going like, oh, I was like, you know what? Like, I don't like this as much as the other ones, but after watching it, like, now being less bothered by the character change with Gamera that I had been bothered about in the past, I'm gonna say this is definitely a 5 star.
Oh wow!
Movie. Yeah,
this is one of the first times we're in agreement with the 5 stars.
Oh, okay, yeah. No,
I think
it's just...
Shin Godzilla and this and the original Godzilla.
Well, I've had a few other show up. Oh yeah, for agreements, yeah.
For when we're both giving it a 5 stars, it's very rare.
Yeah.
Did GMK get a dual 5 star?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't think this is better than GMK. I think this is like leading us in the path to like this is Gamera's GMK, but this is not GMK.
The human characters are better than the human characters in GMK. The human story is better than the human story in GMK, but as far as the whole movie goes, no way. That movie's way better.
Yeah. I just think Ayana is better than most characters, but
that's not a knock against either movie or anything like that.
Yeah, I think what's the reporter character's name in GMK?
Yuka.
Yeah, I think Ayana just has, we spent most of this podcast talking about the character, Ayana. So yes, I think she wins, but it's like, I think where so much of GMK focuses around Yuka, I think her, yeah, I don't know. I think that is on par with this movie, but Ayana is like the best singular character of any human character in the 90s, 2000s. Actually, I take it 90s to present kaiju movie human character. I think without a doubt. They're not unless you want to count Dawn Fry in Final Wars.
I'm just trying to think if anyone even comes close that I can compare this to.
I think Yuka comes close. I think that's it, though.
No. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think Ayana's probably the best human character since the guy from Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, who like salutes Godzilla.
The guy whose name you can't remember. So yeah,
I can't remember his name.
He's gonna be the next best one.
Maybe I'm just trying to think of memorable characters that stuck with me.
I mean, Ayana, I think, is the most like there was no other tragic, deep character like that I think comes close. But I think, like, to me, there's more. I think like the human cast and like Monster Zero and Godzilla versus Mothra, and I go, yeah, like those human casts, like I'm much more entertained by, but like they're obviously not grief-stricken, messed up people like Ayana is, who has like a lot of layers and complications going on.
Also, I have to issue a correction. Her name is Yuri.
Oh, yeah, well, whatever.
But there's a scene. The why I said Yuko is because there's a scene where one of the characters is yelling for her as she's like falling off the bridge, and he says Yuka, but underneath it says Yuri.
Oh, okay.
In my version of the movie.
Gotcha.
So that's why I confused them.
Yeah. I think it's like I feel like in the first Godzilla X Mechagodzilla movie, I forget her name. I forget the character's name as well. But like she's the one who's like her commanding officer gets like killed in the beginning of the movie in the attack of Godzilla, and there's like a lot of like kind of like she's like resented by all of her teammates while like they're piloting like Kiryu against Godzilla. Like I feel like if that character had like the level of detail put into her like Ayana gets in this, we're like, oh, like that would have been like the best character ever, but she didn't.
And like Ayana's whole backstory was summed up in a flashback and one little meal with her surrogate family that ended poorly.
Yeah. I mean,
and I'm just like, okay, your character is defined. Like,
yes.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really a testament to how good those scenes were.
Yeah.
Because that's not a lot. And we have spent literally most of this podcast talking about her.
Well, she's the main character of the movie.
Yeah. It's just we don't normally just do that though with human characters in this podcast.
Well, they're never usually that good.
Yeah.
But she's probably the best. Maybe not in the series of like all monster movies, but best I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. So there you go. 5 stars.
Put her over. She is the John Cena of the wrestling world.
She was John Cena in her heel stage, turning babyface.
Yeah, he started as a heel, then ended as a babyface. It works. Hey, Slick.
Hey, Cass.
Did you get any figs?
Shit ton. This was purchase heavy week. I wouldn't say anything too notable, but I'll go through it. So I got a little Funko Pop envy after you got your Funko Pop.
Oh yeah, you went out and you actually just saw it out there. You told me that.
My wife and I went out one day, and like we were just having little drink skis in some town, and passed by a comic shop, and I said, let's take a little stroll, see what we got. And they had like a whole wall of like the Godzilla versus Kong Funko Pops.
Oh, nice.
And they all were there, like the Kong ones, the Mechagodzilla ones, Godzilla ones. I'm not a Funko Pop collector.
Neither am I.
But again, the hops and the pops were flowing, and so I was feeling a little like, maybe I'll get my first regular size Funko Pop, and I got the Godzilla that has like the little heat ray attachment. Pretty nifty, pretty cutesy.
Yeah, I'm not big into the Funko Pops. I have 4, but like that's what happened to me. I was in Target. I was actually looking for, I think that can of air spray. Because I'm a heel and I have the canned air. Yeah. And so I was looking for that actually, and I just passed by and saw that hanging out, and I was like, all right, cool. Actually, I was there to get the Godzilla versus Kong Blu-ray.
Oh yes, actually, I have not purchased that yet.
Oh, all right, I did. Yeah.
I'm not big on like, I don't know what it is like because I just feel like it's like just so readily available being streamed or whatever. Like I still like, but the second I want to watch it, like that's like when I'll buy it. But I'm not one of those types. Like I don't feel like the need to buy like a Blu-ray or a DVD like the second it comes out. Also, like part of me wouldn't be surprised if, like 6 months from now there's like a release with like more special features on it. That's like a little bit more of like a complete, because like there's no real special features on there, right? Like isn't it pretty minimal?
There's 2 discs. I haven't watched the second disc.
No, so maybe there is actually.
So there's the commentary, the very well received commentary.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was like a whole like 2.5 weeks ago.
I should watch it with that, and then try to bring back the outrage as a joke.
Yeah. I just don't. It's like weird, like for how like obsessed I am with Godzilla, or just monster movies in general. I am not like a big DVD Blu-ray collector. I need like one version of each movie, and like I just kind of go like, oh, I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped collecting DVDs, so I was never collecting them. I just bought a DVD if I liked a movie or whatever. Like maybe 12 years ago at this point. When did streaming come? Like 2010, so like 2009, 2010 is when Netflix streaming was like really taking off.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much around the time when I stopped like buying DVDs. Really.
Yeah.
I think I bought like 5 in the past 6-7 years. So
I think I like realized
more Godzilla movies.
I think I realized like a lot of like the when like DVDs and Blu-rays get like released and like they make these like big packages, like for the most part it's just like a scam to get you to spend a whole bunch of money. And all I like ultimately like really care about is like, says the guy who's going to spend $120 3 times over for the singular point for the Blu-ray sets, but they do come with exclusive figures, so I feel like that's a little bit more justified. But anyway, that's a later in the summer problem. But it's like I don't feel the need to like taking a step back. If there was like a Godzilla versus Kong, if there was a Godzilla versus Kong Blu-ray that came with like an exclusive Bandai figure for like $100, I would buy that. If your exclusive comes with a figure, you're probably gonna get me. But if it's just like, oh, here's like some like stupid featurettes that we threw together in like 15 minutes, and we wrapped it in a steel book, spend a bunch more money. Nah, like I'm probably not gonna do that. Like the version of Godzilla vs Kong I'm gonna get, it's probably gonna be like the 3-in-1 set that has like Skull Island on it too.
Oh yeah.
Because like I don't have
a couple bucks more, but I mean,
but you get 3 movies, and I don't own Skull Island on physical media because you can just fucking stream it. So
yeah.
So and I feel like, oh good, I would get 2-in-1, and that's good enough for me. But I haven't done that yet, so I'm just all talk at this point.
100% Conrad, 100%.
So other things I got leading up before I get to the shared purchase that we have is also had a few White Claw skis. Made a little impromptu Hobby Link Japan purchase the other week. 2 days later, all the way from Japan to my doorstep, which is still the most astounding thing on the planet to me.
Jesus.
I got 3 Bandai Movie Monster figures. I got the Gamera Guardian of the Universe Gamera, which is fantastic, great mold, looks awesome. Probably should have a little bit more paint on his belly, but that's all right. For like a $12 figure with an incredible sculpt, can't really complain. But I think the real 2 sweet purchases I got that was the Godzilla King of the Monsters style Godzilla and King Ghidorah from King of the Monsters as well. And I gotta say the Godzilla one, like even like the paint's like a little suspect on the teeth. Could be a little more even. Like, awesome looking figure.
Okay.
Awesome. It's like, just a really like well detailed, legendary Godzilla figure. I was really happy with it. Same with the King Ghidorah one as well. It's like I was telling you, like kind of like offline. It's like if you perfectly posed like the Jax King Ghidorah and gave it a little bit more detail and zero articulation and made it like a little bit bigger, you get that. And it was awesome. Great. 2 great additions.
I mean, the Jax King Ghidorah is one of the finest figures I've ever owned. So you're
Sold
saying
me.
some pretty high marks there for this King Ghidorah.
Well, I'll tell you what. The next time I do a Hobby League Japan run, I'll ask you if you want a King Ghidorah if they still have them in stock.
All right. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'm being pretty sarcastic.
I actually like the Jax King Ghidorah.
I like the Rodan.
Yeah. The Rodan's is the winner of that race.
No, I don't know about the King Ghidorah though.
I liked I forget.
I have one in the box that actually has the paint on it.
Okay, I was gonna say like the running. Yeah,
my figure that I got earlier did not have any paint on it at all.
Yeah. So we both have the one that's like basically unpainted, and then the one that like has a painted mouth, painted teeth, and kind of like black accents like on like the body. That
It looks
actually,
much better.
Yeah, it's like I was like that's pretty sweet. Other random purchases I got this week. My when it was 100 degrees the other day.
Oh my god!
My wife went to the mall because they air conditioned the mall, and we only air conditioned one room in our house. And so she went to the mall, and they said, "Hey, if you go to Newbury Comics, they sell these blind bag Godzilla things there." And I actually drew her a map, and I said, "This is where you need to go. They'll be here." She texted me and she said, "I can't find those, but sent me a picture of some other blind bags." And it's like these like newer keychain things that are like usually just like in Five Below. And maybe you've like seen them. They come like kind of like online probably, like remember like the Hot Topic Godzilla figure thing that I bought, like,
oh yes, that very nice statue.
Yes. So one of the keychains is that Godzilla figure.
Okay.
And then there's also like a Biollante, a Mechagodzilla, a Shin Godzilla, Godzilla 2000, all sculpted by whoever sculpted that. And she texted me like that she saw that, and I said, "Buy me 2 of them, feel them to make sure they feel different on the inside, so I don't get doubles." I said, "But I'll take 2 of them right now." And I got the Biollante one, which is awesome. And then I got Godzilla 2000, who is like standing completely straight up, kind of hands in front of his chest, has like this like Toxic Avenger green paint job going on, and it looks awesomely bad.
Are his fins purple?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
You got that right.
Yes, but it's like neon green skin. And it's just like the Hot Topic figure. It's a figure you look at and go, I feel uncomfortable just looking at this, because it's like the design is good, but the pose is wrong.
So he's just kind of like hands out front, like
it's more like if someone's like stand up straight.
Okay,
like,
I thought maybe he was like preventing anyone from getting at him.
No. It's more like, because Godzilla 2000 kind of like hunches forward like a little bit.
Yeah.
This is like this is like someone walks by like in elementary school and like stand up straight, arch that back. It's like that.
Oh, so it's like Sergeant Hartman walking down the
No, second one, yeah, second reference. Good job. It's very strange, but also like part of me is like, well, like I should try to find more of these. But
well, I think maybe since you're a big collector of those things, maybe this is your new.
These are not going to be the monogram bag clips.
All right,
those are like micro Morales. Those are like awesome. These are like, I want the Shin Godzilla one, because like I would need like one more like bad one, and then I can let that series go.
You're gonna get them all.
I mean, I wouldn't. Maybe I'd do it slowly, but like the monogram back clips, it's like I'm seeking those out.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I mean. Like you'll still do those.
I'm hunting those.
But you also feel the emptiness that comes from completing them. So you'll need something else to fill that void.
Well, fortunately, they're about to release an Ultraman set, so
all right, so there it is.
That'll help me.
All right,
but and then before I get to our shared purchase, which will kind of segue into it, found a couple Playmates figures around. I got the Hong Kong lights King Kong. It's Kong with the closed mouth with some purplish neon-y paint on his arms. Not nearly applied to the degree that the Godzilla one is.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's much less.
And thing that like drives me nuts is that the axe that he comes with is all brown, whereas like the original Kong that came with the axe has a brown and blue axe, and this one is just all brown.
He has the deactivated axe.
I was like, why is this just brown?
So now you can have that axe in battle and it loses power, and then you have Godzilla with the atomic breath spray at the axe.
Good, there you go.
So it gets, and then you replace it, and then you go back to work.
Yeah. So it's the same Kong, I think, as like the other variant Kong that's like closed mouth Kong that comes with the fighter jet. They had that there too, and I was like, I'm not buying both of these. I'm gonna get the one with like the Hong Kong thing going on, the gimmick going on, and that will. I'll call it a day on that front. I don't need the other one with like with less paint. I don't need that. So but I'm glad I now have both of the Hong Kong figures. But that was like a thing I looked at. I was like, oh, Playmates, you always got to remind us that you're still Playmates from time to time, which maybe we will be saying when I kick it over to you for the other mutual shared purchase that we have.
Oh my. Yeah, well, we got the closest thing that Playmates is going to come to a NECA. We got the Godzilla. I guess it's kind of the poster pose from King of the Monsters, but it's the Black Beam figure from the earlier releases of this line. And there's no beam, but he's still that color scheme, and his head is just pointing upwards,
but not straight upwards.
Yeah, not straight up, and there's no articulation, so it can't go anywhere else. It's just like permanently this way, and I'm gonna use him for a specific purpose. I will not make this purchase go in vain. I will get around to using this figure. I have something in mind.
So I think it's officially the Power Roar Godzilla, I think it's what it's called.
Okay.
There's a roaring version and a non-roaring version. The roaring version makes a little bit more sense.
Go Power Roar.
But without the roaring gimmick, it's just an oddly posed figure. I've seen some people when Shinra Jiro did his video. Mm-hmm. I think maybe this is actually what you're supposed to do with it. Like he kind of propped it on all fours, like when Godzilla's doing like the alligator crawl against Kong. Like I don't think that's like how it's intended, but I think like he just kind of did that, and I remember like, it kind of works. Maybe that's what we got to do.
Okay, I've never tried that, so maybe he's right. I didn't see that.
I mean the feet are definitely not posed in such a way that would make sense, but I think it's maybe how you could
pose them back. I've done that with the Playmates Shin Godzilla. It's no problem.
Yeah. Maybe actually, because I also don't have mine in the alligator crawl either from Godzilla vs. Kong, so maybe I'll do that when I go home and see how it looks. But like, I saw that and I was like, okay, maybe that's what you got to do with this figure. But I don't want like a line of alligator crawling Godzilla stuff. I think that was a fantastic moment in time where Godzilla gets really pissed off and beats the shit out of Kong. I don't want a whole bunch of figures now going like, you're gonna like alligator crawl Godzilla, because
you eventually just get to Godzilla figures with alligator heads.
Oh my god. It's just, I don't want that. Don't start doing that.
Or alligator figures with Godzilla heads.
If this is the figure that will do that, then that's fine with me. I don't want some like shitty. Oh, actually, I don't know. Maybe if like X Plus made like a really awesome alligator crawl statue, I would probably buy that.
If they just make it for like $700, $800.
No, they're like they're like 200. I mean, they're still very expensive.
No. They just make a full-on resin 24-inch crawling Godzilla. They go all out.
Yeah. I have some resin X Plus figures, and they are hulking beasts.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, three of my favorites that I have. But they were also very difficult to move when I bought my house and moved them.
Those are one of the things that are either the first thing or the last thing.
Yeah, what I have like a Godzilla 54 resin one, and I actually when we were moving, one of the toes actually like chipped off,
Ugh.
and but it was a clean break, and so I was able to like seamlessly like glue it back on. You can't even tell, and I looked at it as like because you can't even tell, like it doesn't bother me because it was like it's like one of like my favorite pieces that I have. So
Yeah.
never. I mean, I'm not gonna part with any of my shit, but it's like I would definitely never part with that. And so, but yeah, I had a little heart attack when that happened because, but yeah. But yeah, you know, maybe give me a little alligator crawl, Godzilla X Plus. Maybe we'll talk. I trust you. Trust you to do it.
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Oh, X Plus should actually bring back like and I have like a bunch of these. Like they made like hard resin, kind of like 4-inch figures, and like God, those are so good. And I feel like they haven't done those in a long time. And like those like much more affordable. Give me one of those. Give me one of those X Plus.
You know what a company should do? Just fucking go all out, cast iron Mechagodzilla figures. Just like full on metal, made of metal. You flip a little switch, his eyes glow up red.
Oh wait, have you? No, I think it's a group that I'm in on Facebook. I'm in like this like Godzilla collectors group, and there is like a remote controlled Mechagodzilla that's like 12 inches, 14 inches tall. Showa Mechagodzilla, and it's older.
Okay, I'm talking about the legendary one.
No. So it's like the Showa one, and like the control pad for it. Like somebody posted a video of like them using it. It's like a $5,000 piece, and it's like new, like not even like aftermarket. I think it's like the remote control for it. Like literally, there's like separate controls for the head, the arm missiles, the knee missiles, and it's like it can literally like go into the pose like the Showa Mechagodzilla does, where he fires everything all at once. And there's like lights and like missile sound effects going off like all over the body, and then you can hit another button and it does like the spinning head thing to like bring out the blue shield. It's like insane like what it is, and it was like give me one of those. I mean, I'll never afford that, but
No, it's not for $5,000. So maybe if I win the vaccine millionaires lottery, you know.
Oh yes, that's right, we're doing that in Massachusetts. We have to register for that.
I already did.
Oh shit, I didn't.
Yeah, its registration opened yesterday. So while you do that,
No, I'm just gonna queue it up on my phone.
all right.
You know. But if you don't hear me at the next episode, it's because I won $1 million and I turned it all to MGF coin.
What a terrible investment that would be. That really didn't pan out for us.
I'm just hoping that'll bounce back. But yeah, that was my purchases. Did you get anything else?
Just that one figure. Everything else was expanding my
Your wrestling,
figs,
wrestling
my other
collection, yeah.
figs. Yeah. Which is not, I've gone too far now. I'm like, damn, I have like
To
close
the land
to
where
30
nothing's
of them.
funny anymore.
Yeah, I have close to 30 of these things. I said I was going to stop at 20. Corey was right. You got me, Lucas. You got me.
That old gypsy woman was right.
It's the OIWF portion of the podcast. We keep it at the end of the podcast with all our other secrets. This is our Fig Fed. Kayfabe rules supreme here. Big-
Kayfabe engaged now.
Big week this past week. We had 2 championship matches and a cage match. Big week for the OIWF.
We did. I guess starting with the cage match, Trent Masters Anguirus, you know, took his rage out on Godzilla Earth in that cage match.
He got knocked off the horse and he got right back up.
That's
on it.
right. He lost the Mid-Atlantic title, and you know, Godzilla Earth paid the price for being the next in line.
Godzilla Earth still winless in his cage matches.
He's not the king of the cage, but he's the most frequent in the cage.
He is the Wardlow of our cages.
Yes. I think Wardlow has some wins though, right?
Wardlow has 1 win.
Okay, yes. Okay.
1 for 3.
Good, very good. But but yeah, I mean, what's going on in the Intercontinental division?
Oh my god. The match couldn't have even finished. It looked like Playmates Gigan was about to become the new Intercontinental Champion. It looked like, back and forth the whole way, and then first monster make a mistake is their undoing. GMK tried to go for a stinger splash, ate the turnbuckle, and that's when Hong Kong Godzilla gave the signal to Kong, and they turned on him. It was a swerve, brother.
The mistake here was not knowing your friends.
You keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Yeah.
It looked like there was more to it the past episode when it looked like Hong Kong Godzilla was holding Kong back from doing it. And he gave him the signals like, now's the time. It looked like he wanted to hurt him the most when everything was on the line. And he's lost his 2nd straight championship match now.
Yeah. The Cursed Order has been fractured.
It looks like there's two camps now. There's the Cursed Order Legendary, and there's Cursed Order Toho, who are loyal to Gigan.
So, Cot and Cole.
You got to think that Legendary and Toho are going to collide at some point.
I wonder if there's some sort of event that could contain such factions going to war against each other. I don't know.
It's a deadly game we play.
I don't know but that Intercontinental division that they kind of seem to be fixated around, dangerous waters right there for the Intercontinental champion GMK, NECA GMK.
Still champ though. Past 2 title defenses have ended in no contest, so still the champion, the longest reigning Intercontinental champion.
But he's caught now between 2 warring factions, both set on his title.
Yep. He's like Poland with Germany and Russia on each side. It's a weak position.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, he seems like he's up for the task. Can he maybe it actually works out in his advantage, right? I mean, if they're too distracted by each other, they're not going to be able to focus on him and his title. And
he is Gamera flying out to meet the Gauss.
He's got one hand. If he needs to, he's going to pull off his arm in a match to retain his title. Is what he's going to do.
But yeah. So no news on who the next contender will be, but we have received word that GMK has been wrestling injured, and so we might have a contenders match this time instead of a title defense.
He might have to, I mean, he's a workhorse.
He has 30 days.
He is a real workhorse.
He has 30 days, so he'll get back on it. He'll meet the deadline. But I think next up we need to figure out who's getting the next title shot.
Yeah. It's one of the newest and also hottest divisions in the OIWF. A lot of drama going on over there.
A lot of gaga.
However, on the getting a little bit less gaga, a little bit more just the traditional wrestling match in the OIWF World Title picture, we had a triple threat action where Bandai Titanosaurus took on what we announced as one of the biggest money signings in OIWF history, Trendmasters Varan, or TMV, as I like to call him, as well as 94 Bandai Gamera. This was probably one of the stiffest challenges that our world champ has faced. TMV almost got the win there. He hit his flying squirrel frog splash. I don't know if you know that. A lot of people call Flying Varan the flying squirrel, but hence why it's called the flying squirrel frog splash, or a flying squirrel splash. Sorry, there's no frog. But just as it seemed like just out of nowhere, though, Titanosaurus reached down deep, showed why again he's the champion, probably the most pure wrestler on the roster. Came in with his signature tail drop on both competitors, rolled them over, got the pin,
and a show of dominance.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a show of dominance. I think he just, I think he was lucky to get out of there with the strap, the most prestigious prize in the industry. But he showed the world why he's still the best, And now and again we find ourselves, what's next? What is next for Titanosaurus? And we will have to see how that plays out over the next few weeks when new challenges rise. I also have heard on the old hotline that Mini Bandai Shin Godzilla will be in action next week, defending his Mid-Atlantic Championship. Just a really dominant victory in the past for him to win that title over Trend Masters Anguirus. I think it's going to take quite a challenger to wrangle that away from him. So we'll see what's in store on that front in the next week or so.
Wow, compelling stuff.
Yep.
We're 37. So that'll do it for.
You wish you were having this much fun at 37.
Oh yeah,
should be a crime.
We are just living the life. So next episode, we're not going to do any randomizer BS this time. We've already got it picked out.
Yeah, we will be doing.
It'll be a spoiler episode of Singular Point. So you've been warned. If you're going to get angry about that stuff, then don't listen to it, because we're going to be spoiling everything. We dive into this.
We will. But you literally have 2 more weeks. So watch it all.
You've been
then
warned.
Listen to our show.
Yeah, you've been warned. It's not like we're doing it real. We've talked about it before, but we're not, we didn't go deep diving into anything. We didn't spoil anything. It's out. You have every chance to watch every single episode. No excuses now. We've given you plenty of time.
We have. The good thing about podcasts, they just kind of exist.
That was like the most half-hearted. I don't care if I'm spoiling anything for people, and I don't care if people watch it or not. I'm like so half-hearted into this. I'm trying to be into it, but just not there. We're talking about Singular Point next episode.
Yes. We're just letting you know it'll be spoiler-filled.
Yeah.
So
and I don't really care if you get upset about it or not.
And we'll probably say that when the episode starts that it's spoiler filled. We've given you all the warnings in the world.
Because I know there's drama, and I don't care. I just don't care about it.
Every fandom has drama.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
And it's not really even fandoms. It's like
empathy.
I don't know. People just go on social media. They throw their opinions out there and everything, and everyone goes,
"Yeah, I do that."
Yeah, but but then people fight about it, and it's kind of go
I try to avoid the fights, and I just try to make fun jokes about stuff.
And it's what are you fighting about? What are you fighting about? There's so much. Yeah, you don't like it? All right. Good thing. There's no shortage of Godzilla things to enjoy.
Yeah, Like if I watch something that I don't like with Godzilla in it, I'll just put on something that I do like.
Yeah, I should say the Singular Point fighting didn't bother me. The Godzilla versus Kong fighting bothered me. And I was like, okay, this is one movie. There's a bajillion more to enjoy. I was I don't know. I always go what if Godzilla versus Gigan came out tomorrow? Could you imagine what that would be like with social media? Holy shit. It would just really be. You're well, I don't know. Why I just can't believe that he's holding the comic book guy up with a corn on the cob wrapped in tinfoil. It's just absurd. Just absurd. It would just be like that. Just over and over. The director didn't care.
It's absurd, kid. He hit him with absurd.
And just,
That's it. No one's going to get that except for you.
Yeah. Oh, alien cockroaches. What was the director thinking? Oh,
Isn't it nice to just let it out every once in a
no,
while?
I just don't it's totally fine to say you like or don't like a show, movie, whatever. But it was people were crusading either in favor of or against Godzilla vs. Kong. And it's not just Godzilla vs. Kong. It's anything that comes out now. Having to crusade for or against something, I just go, what are you doing?
Yeah. I'm not crusading for anything.
Just say, yeah, you know what? It didn't work for me. That's all. Because it works for somebody. The Room by Tommy Wiseau, whatever the fuck his name is, works for somebody. You know?
You're
Maybe-
tearing me apart, Slick.
I'm just like, I'm just saying, like, why?
Well, you know.
Why put the energy there? Why put the energy in that?
I know.
I don't get it.
That's what I mean. I'm always busy doing anything else, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, we're going to talk Singular Point. You're not going to like me. I'm tough, but I am fair. 3 Hartman references. You got anything you'd like to add?